NXT New Year's Evil 2023 is this upcoming Tuesday. Going to give you the match card and predictions at the time of recording. There are 5 matches in total. Like I said, I'm going to give my picks, and at the end of this video, I want you to give your picks in the comments below. But quickly, before we get started, let's go through the matches. We've got a 20-woman Battle Royale. The winner will be taking on Roxanne, Perez, getting a championship opportunity at NXT Vengeance Day in February. We've got a tag team encounter with Indus, Sher going against the Creed brothers. We have Dijak going against Tony D'Angelo. The winner becoming the #1 contender for the North American Championship against Wesley, which I believe also will take place at Vengeance Day. We have Charlie Dempsey taking on Hank Walker. Hank Walker will have Drew Gulak in his corner. And last but not least, we have the NXT Championship. We've got Bron Breakker defending against the Iron Survivor Challenge winner from NXT Deadline. Of course, I'm talking about Grayson Waller. So let's start off the predictions then by going for the #1 contenders at Battle Royale. The winner taking on Roxanne Perez at NXT Vengeance Day. Now, of course, that's very key when you look at the Battle Royale because they will be going against the champion on an NXT special. Of course, the first NXT special that will be traveling around outside of Florida since, well, before the pandemic. So it's a big deal here. So expect, I think, a fairly big name to win this. But looking through the field here, I'll go through who I think some of the favourites will be before giving my prediction. Of course, you can't look past Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. They want revenge, of course, after Roxanne Perez beat Mandy Rose. I think Gigi Dolan in particular could be one to keep an eye out for. Cora Jade, of course, a long-time rival of Roxanne Perez, of course, a long-time friend before as well. Maybe they'll renew that rivalry at some point down the line. I'm not so sure that will be this soon. Zoe Stark is certainly someone I could see getting a championship opportunity at some point in the near future. Indy Hartwell is another one as well. Of course, she had some friction with Roxanne Perez just before Roxanne became the NXT Women's Champion. Indy Hartwell is all about herself now as well. Kiana James, who was just in the NXT Deadline match as well, so she certainly is up and coming in NXT right now. Farron Henley as well, it seems to be on a bit of a push recently. Also, Wendy Chu is there. We've got Laika Valkyria as well. She's had a couple of matches in NXT, but she was fantastic in NXT UK. I think she's going to be a big star in time to come in NXT. And of course, Nikita Lyons as well is in this match. She certainly would be some fresh blood at the top there. But for me, to give a prediction for you, it's not on this list. I think we've got a return coming. We've seen some vignettes for the last few weeks. Someone looks like they're going to be returning at Countdown to the New Year, almost like new start, new year, new me. We see it all the time, don't we? And some very expensive jewellery, some very expensive dress, some very expensive shoes, it seems, with this person that's been pictured on a countdown of 10 to 1. And for me, that strikes one name for me in my head. I think Tiffany Stratton is returning to NXT in this Battle Royale next week, but perhaps a slightly tweaked gimmick perhaps going forward. Perhaps maybe like we've seen with Carmella in the past, maybe like when we've seen Mella Viz Money. I think that could be perhaps what we're getting with Tiffany going forward, rather than just being daddy's girl. Maybe she's someone that's quite wealthy, quite well off going forward. I think she's someone that I think will win the Battle Royale, and I think she'll be going to take on Roxanne Perez at NXT Vengeance Day. She certainly has been improving in the ring in the time she's been in NXT as well. I think to give it a big breakout moment, I think could be a good idea as well. Tiffany versus Roxanne, certainly a match I'd be interested in seeing as well. Next, we'll talk about the Creed brothers going against Indus, Sher. Of course, Veer Mahan actually turning up in NXT, reuniting his team with Sangha. They wanted to face the Creed brothers, they wanted to face them at their best as well. Julius Creed has been sort of carrying an injury as of late, of course, during his rivalry with JD McDonough. So now it's interesting to see that fully 100% going this tag team match. How is it going to play out? For me, I hate to bet against the Creed brothers. I'm a big fan of their work. I think they've got a very, very bright future in WWE. But for me, I'm going to go with Indus Sher. They have just reformed. They've just come into NXT. You need to build up fresh teams to go for the tag team championships. The Creed brothers have been previous champions. I think personally they are ready for a Raw or SmackDown call-up. So for me, yeah, Indus Sher is going to be my pick to pick up the victory here. Following that on, we've got Dijak going against Tony D'Angelo, with the winner becoming the #1 contender for the North American Championship. I believe going to take on Wesley at Vengeance Day as well. So interesting how this one will play out. Dijak only recently come back to NXT. Feels like he's on a bit of a streak since coming in as well. Tony D'Angelo is the one that's had the rivalry with Wes Lee. So I kind of feel like here, this is a match that I feel could go either way, but I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball here. I think this is going to have a false finish where neither guy picks up the victory. That way we get a triple threat match at Vengeance Day with Wes Lee included. But if I had to pick one person to win, now just because I'm going to go out on a limb here, I would pick Dijak. But I do think it's going to be a triple threat match, so I expect either a no contest, double count out, double DQ, whatever it takes, where these guys end up both getting that championship opportunity. Next, we're going to be talking Charlie Dempsey taking on Hank Walker. Hank Walker, of course, has been getting some tutelage from Drew Gulak since coming back to NXT. Drew, of course, doing his sort of lessons, of course, in the ring, almost bullying people to a degree. Charlie Dempsey, of course, he's someone that can throw people in holds as well. It feels like that's the long-term goal, Dempsey versus Gulak. I'm looking forward to that match as well. I do like the idea of Hank Walker, though, against Charlie Dempsey. Should be a fun little match. I'm going to go, though, for Charlie Dempsey to pick up the W. Last but not least, then, let's talk about the NXT Championship, shall we? Bron Breakker defending against the Iron Survivor Challenge winner from NXT Deadline. Of course, it is Grayson Waller. And Grayson Waller, he's kind of had the one-upsmanship over Bron Breakker ever since he won that match. Of course, we had the infamous copy of the Bret Hart Goldberg spot from WCW, the Spear, where, of course, Waller, of course, had some protection, like a shield there covering him, did the damage to Bron Breakker, not to Grayson Waller. Then, of course, Bron Breakker wanted the revenge. Grayson Waller went and spent Christmas in Australia. It's just this past week, though, that Bron Breakker managed to get the advantage over Grayson Waller during the Grayson Waller Effect show. Does this mean that WWE are actually not going to do 50-50 booking? Because I had Bron Breakker winning this match all day long. But of course, if he's had the advantage going into the match and they like to do 50-50 booking, maybe Grayson Waller is picking up a victory here. But one thing I'm going to say very, very early, Bron Breakker retains the NXT Championship. That is going to be my prediction. I would like to see Bron Breakker win the match, but I've got a funny feeling this feud is just getting started. I think this could carry over to Vengeance Day. I think that we need an opponent for Bron Breakker at that show. I still think that the person that will defeat Bron Breakker and become NXT champion is Carmelo Hayes, and I think that's going to take place on WrestleMania weekend at Stand and Deliver. So we need to keep things ticking along between now and then. So I think this rivalry with Grayson Waller seems perfect. If it was me booking it, Breakker would win the match and Waller would find a way to get an advantage to close the show and have a beatdown, perhaps still holding that championship up in the air. Perhaps maybe he won the battle but didn't win the war. Like I said, at this particular point, it feels like when it comes to the mind games, Waller is the one that actually has the advantage right now. And we've seen that has cost Bron Breakker in the past. So I don't want to see it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like a DQ finish either. But for me, the prediction I'm going to stick with for this particular moment, one thing we should take to the bank is that Bron Breakker will retain the NXT Championship. Make of that what you will. So that's my predictions there for New Year's Evil 2023. It's now your turn. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. If you've liked this video, then please do hit the thumb up and please subscribe to SCW if you're new here. Turn on the notifications bell as well, each and every time a new video is released on the channel. In the meantime, why not check out some of the videos that are going to be popping up on the side of your screen right now. I'd like to say a personal thank you to you for checking out this video. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you here again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time here on YouTube. This has been SCW, and enjoy New Year's Evil.